Have you heard that phrase that there's no such thing as an overnight success? And sometimes that might leave us a little bit sad. But the same is true on the flip side. There's hardly ever anything such as overnight destruction. The universe gives us clues along the way to let us know if we're on the right path or if danger is lurking. And those signs are there to help us correct course and move and dance in the direction of our dreams. And I'm going to share with you 3 warning signs, one that just popped up in my universe, and how grateful and lucky that I saw it before everything was ruined. If you want to pluck these out of your life, just watch all the way to the end of the video and you'll know how to do it too. Earthlings, do you just believe in divine timing? I felt like this was so cosmically aligned. This is a sponsored video by California Psychics. What really sold me on them is that they said you can call and talk to the psychic for 5 minutes. And if you don't connect and resonate with them, then you can hang up and get your money back. No questions asked. I was like, well, heck, I can take a chance on that because everything is about the connection. I totally believe in psychics, but sometimes the energy just doesn't line up. I really wanted to hit a home run on the first time, so I sat down, centered my energy, and asked the universe that I would get a clear, crisp, concise answer. Then I went to the computer, and it's super freaking easy to use. I just clicked on this and found Ellison. And usually I call psychics up when I'm ruminating on something, but this time I just wanted clarity on the abundance that I felt was coming my way. I was like, am I being over optimistic? Because it's looking pretty rosy to me. And I went around the world with Ellison in 10 minutes. I asked her about my career. I asked her about my husband. He's not a big law of attraction believer, but I am putting out the vibe that he's going to turn that around. And she agreed that he was. But the biggest take home is my baby girl is 19 months old and not walking. She said, worry not, she will be walking within a month. And when I picked her up from daycare that day, she walked 2 steps by her baby self. And even though these were feelings that I had in my heart, the clarity and the confirmation made me just surrender to the unfolding of all the magic. And really, this was the hard part for me. To get the most out of my reading, I knew that I had to find a quiet place and a little bit of time to be by myself, meditate, and clear my head so I could really absorb the answers and speak with clarity. If you want to give it a try, new users receive up to 80% off their first 20 minutes on California Psychics with this link. Use promo code ADD5 for an additional $5 credit. The first warning sign from the universe. If you chronically dislike your job, all jobs are going to have a little bit of, I wish I didn't have to do that. But if you're bouncing to work 80% of the time, that is a raging success, as opposed to flip those odds. And 80% of the time, it's Sunday evening and your heart is dripping in despair because Monday is coming and you're going to have to go to work. That's a sign that you're on the wrong path. And I used to think this was Pollyanna thinking. I grew up with the mantra, Trice, it's work. That's why you get paid for it. And I internalized that as you're not supposed to enjoy your work. To be successful, enjoyment is not a part of the process. But as the years ticked by, I realized how wrong I was. Because let's imagine it on somebody else. Imagine Smurfette hates her job. Now, what do you think her course of action is going to be? Do you think she's going to be brimming with imagination, bringing new ideas to the table? Or is she going to do as little as possible so she doesn't get fired, but still gets the paycheck? And it's universal. When we're doing work that is draining our soul, we vibrationally try to run away from it as quick as possible. It's only human nature to try to get rid of something you dislike. But the ball and chain of that proverbial paycheck keeps us there. So what is the solution? Don't run out and quit your job. I have a whole video if you're thinking of doing that. But I can tell you what I did. And the longer you live and the more you evolve, the more times you will have to do this. I used to be a bartendress and I loved it, but totally outgrew it. And I never really thought, oh, I'm going to do that for my whole life. So it wasn't really hard for me to give that up or disassociate from it. And ultimately, I picked to become a financial planner. And I would spend 8 hours mulling over one person's financial position because it brought me so much joy and pleasure to find how to fit the puzzle pieces together. Fast forward 10 years of working by myself, I started to get a little isolated. I never felt that in the first 8 or 9 years, but as time kept ticking by, I realized I had evolved from the station of being just content to work with myself, and that I wanted to interact with more people, have more varied experiences, and ultimately learn something new. I really felt like I had mastered the money world. I could invest with my eyes closed, and it just didn't have the same excitement anymore. So I started looking into YouTube. Now the interesting thing is that I saw these big YouTubers like Casey Neistat stop doing their channel or saying that they don't want to do videos because they have to. And they were at the evolution of YouTube that I was at just financial planning in a room by myself. And that made me realize before I started this journey that eventually probably will happen with YouTube too. And that's okay. That is the fun of always getting to have something new and fresh in your life. Now, how did I make this transition? Did I just fire all my clients and start doing YouTube? I just did a little bit in my free time, and I have 2 young kids, so the free time is sparse. But I just decided I'd get up earlier so that I could have that opportunity to grow into something new. And you know what happened? I started enjoying my financial planning clients more because I didn't feel like I was going to be stuck there my entire life and that was going to be the end of my story. Have you ever felt that way? That the biggest fear seems to be you're stuck, that this is all there is, that this is the top of the world for you. So if you felt that way, just pick something that draws your interest, that will open the worlds for you. And instead of slowly dying and shriveling up, you'll learn to grow again. And there's nothing so freeing as feeling like you're growing. The second major warning sign from the universe is debt. Now hear me out before your feathers get ruffled. Debt has an energy of lack, of not enough. So if there's debt, it is bringing into your life that feeling of lack. And lack's second cousin is desperation. Have you ever felt so desperate because you just can't pay your bills? I remember when I met my husband, he'd be sitting at the bar being like, I have a $25,000 credit card bill to pay for the business in 5 days. That is a very desperate place. And he found that he was selling treatments at a loss just to get the money in. Now, if you're doing what my clients do, they say, Trice, the debt was totally necessary. I couldn't have survived. I couldn't have got by. I couldn't have put a roof over my head. And I agree, if that's medical debt, okay, free pass. But there's a sneaky thing about credit card debt and our mind. It plays tricks on us. So I ask my clients to do 2 things, and I say, be ruthless. Grab that credit card statement and ask yourself, what was a need? What was an absolute need? Now, let me tell you a couple things that look like needs, but aren't needs. You have a job interview, and you get something fresh and new to wear. That's not a need. Borrow one. Your creativity will pay you dividends. And you have to be really surgeon-like because it's so easy for our mind to categorize desires as needs. And that's what's keeping you trapped. And I'm not saying that the only way out is to live on rice and beans. The only way out of that position is to stop creating debt. There's no way out of the debt cycle unless you stop creating it. So I tell my clients to think of it like this. This is what rich people do. They always want their money to work hard for them, and they want a superior price. For example, my husband's like, who wants red snapper? Red snapper's on sale at the grocery store this week. He's very proud. He comes home and he's like, Trice, I got all this food for $40. It makes him very happy and feeling like he's abundant to realize how good he put his money to use. And it can be fun. It can be a game. And it is a warning sign to get you out of that position and attract more abundance. If you want to get richer, get rid of the energy of lack, of desperation, of not having enough. Slay that debt like it's a death dragon trying to steal your eternal freedom, because that's what it's doing. And the longer it's left untended, the more that dragon will grow. I bow down in eternal gratefulness to the universe for showing me this sign before impending doom happened. This third sign from the universe is in all of us. You'll feel it kind of in the pit of your stomach, like this nagging, dull feeling. It's not doubt. It's the reoccurring feeling that something's not quite right. And I'll share two dramatic examples. One where we had to pay $43,000, and another one that could have totally obliterated my YouTube channel. My husband owns a business called Skin Bar where they do skincare, and they have a reoccurring membership. And the question he was asking his tax advisors is, do I have to have the clients pay tax on the membership? And two tax advisors said no. But my honey bunny still had that nagging feeling that that wasn't true, because he goes to like a fancy hair salon and has a membership and he pays tax on his memberships. But he didn't want to hear the answer. Have you ever felt that way? Because he was afraid that if he started charging his clients tax, that some of them wouldn't be able to afford it and let his service go. So a couple years ticked by, not charging any tax, and he gets audited. The exposure was over $100,000 in back taxes, and it did have a merely outcome. We happily manifested it down to $43,000 of tax debt, which to me felt like an insane win and a gift from the universe. But if he had heeded those warnings, that $43,000 would still be in his pocket. Now, what about me? Because we all are guilty of doing this. I have been making videos for about a year. And when you're making videos, you kind of learn as you go and just grab things from the ether. And I've been taking screenshots off the internet. And I knew that could get me in trouble, but nobody's watching my videos anyway. So let's just see how it goes. Then in my last video, I asked people for comments about the quality of my video. And my friend Joey said, well, Trice, I see that you're using some images and you might not have the rights to use them. Now, I already had that seed inside me, but that Joey was saying it, I was like, is the universe trying to tell me something? Well, this morning when I was at Starbucks, randomly in my feed, it said, I got in trouble with YouTube. And I was like, I think the universe wants me to click on this. I clicked on it, and it was a lady with over 800,000 subscribers who got in a copyright infringement. She used a small clip that she was in that she got off the TV, and she almost lost her entire channel of it. Universe, I need no more warnings. I will set aside some time to figure out how to get the paid images, and I don't know, perhaps I'll have to take all the videos down. We'll come up with a solution. But do you see the best part? That I'm heeding the warnings before doomsday comes? So search over in your life. Ask yourself, has there been a nagging feeling that something just not quite right? Feels a little wrong. Feels like you're pushing the envelope in a way that might have substantial consequences. Because disaster can be totally averted. You know those people that seem to have those merrily existences just bouncing around through life and everything wonderful happens to them? It's my belief that they heed these warnings before they become avalanches of destruction. And you can do it too. So if you watched all the way to the end, I have a special message just for you. I wake up happy because of you. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I respond to everybody's comments. And I've heard of the internet trolls, but I'm telling you, they do not exist in this universe. You guys just give me so much love. And so I just wanted to say thank you. And anytime you're writing down what you're manifesting, I literally pause, recharge my heart, and send you love to get your manifestations too. so we all can live over the rainbow in that sweet pot of gold. Until next time, ciao.